Well, hello. We have a super special guest today for Profitable Pursuits. Stacy, thank you for joining me.
So happy to be here, Cheryl. Thank you.
Awesome. Why don't we just jump in? Can you tell our audience, if they're not familiar, who you are, what you do, the business you own? Give us the rundown.
Okay, well, I'm Stacy, and I opened up Rejuvenate IV Hydration and Wellness Center in January of 2020. So, with that being said, I opened it up as a ketamine clinic slash IV hydration business at the time. My passion and my love is taking care of people and helping them feel better and just function better in life. And so, I have an anesthesia background, so I'm a registered nurse anesthetist, and that gave me a lot of education in the world of anesthesia where we use ketamine. And I absolutely fell in love with the medication and then found out that it was treating depression, PTSD, and all these other mental health disorders. And that just striked inside of me. And I am a veteran myself, and my father was a veteran, my ex-husband was a veteran, my son had mental health issues. So all of this stuff around me, it just kind of lit up inside of me that I can help people. And so that was, where it kind of all started and stemmed from. And so that was where my business started and the dream came from. And from there, it's just grown, just the whole ability to help people on every different level, inside, outside. So it's turned into, a big med spa, which is amazing. We offer, infrared saunas, we have facials, we have Botox and fillers, we have microneedling, everything you can think of to kind of help you feel better about yourself and improve your health, whether it be your mind, your body, or your soul.
I love that. Now, when you jumped into opening up this business or this avenue, because you already had your other business, and I'm always going to butcher the word, anesthetist. Help me say that.
Anesthetist.
Anesthetist. Okay, we're going to go with your version, not mine.
We have to learn it in school. It's so hard. No.
Yeah, right. When you opened up this business, what was your expectations? Like, did you expect it to be a big profit and growth, or was it more just service based and you just wanted enough to like keep the doors open? What was the expectations when you opened?
So expectation wise, I mean, I did hope that, my ketamine clinic would do really well and give me the ability to help a lot of people and keep me from working, I guess, anesthesia full time. But I never wanted to give up anesthesia because I love that part of my life. Did I ever expect that the business was going to end up where it is today? Absolutely not. It is mind blowing to me still to see where I am and how it has organically grown over the time. I don't try to force any growth, it just kind of happens. And what my clients bring to me and needs, then, I run with it.
I love that. When you first opened your clinic, what was the most difficult part of the whole starting? Granted, we also have to add on, we started basically when COVID happened.
Exactly.
Great timing.
Um, I mean, just knowing what to do and how to do things. I'd never owned a business before. I just kind of jumped in with both feet, making sure, obviously I learned a lot, had made a lot of mistakes financially with bookkeeping and those trials and errors, but just learning the aspects of, how to manage money and how to manage, the overall picture of the business so that it is making money. That was super important to learn. And I did learn it the hard way.
But we got there. I
Yep.
remember we used to have a lot of conversations about staffing and bringing in the right staff who's qualified and also being able to pay them while paying yourself. I remember that being a pain point a little bit.
Yeah. And it still is a pain point, honestly. This type of business is different and it's kind of hard because I am still doing anesthesia. I absolutely have to have the staff here that can run the business. So, we actually grew the business space wise in January of 2023, which was a big financial jump because our rent tripled, probably more than tripled. And so that did pretty much take the majority of my profit away. And I knew that going in, and I was okay to sacrifice that because I wanted to be able to grow the business and have it going and helping people when I wasn't around. So, the type of employees this type of business needs are expensive. They're qualified, they're trained, they have licenses and certifications, and, so they're expensive. And the products that we use are expensive. So it's a rare kind of industry where, our costs are a little bit higher than some businesses. So what I'm trying to learn this year and try to focus on this year is growing the side of the business where the profit margin is higher than my costs so it can balance out and make a better profit.
Yes, I love that. And I think in order to be able to do that, doesn't it take awareness of the numbers? Is that a fair statement? Like,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, without the awareness of the numbers, I mean, I'd be just shooting in the dark, and I still, in all transparency, don't use my numbers to my fullest benefit, and I know that, and you know that. I've always been that way. We put the numbers down and I do use them, but I know I could focus on them a lot better. But without knowing how much money's coming in and how much money is going out, absolutely, I'd be bankrupt by now.
is it fair to say because you have your, oh Lordy, anesthetician side of you?
Anesthetist. There's a
Yes.
there's a there is an anesthetician, which is works on faces and does facials, and then anesthetist that does the anesthesia.
Well, I've been butchering that, so thank you. Since you have the anesthetist side, and then your business, if you didn't have that other half, would you have been able to run your business where you could invest constantly into it? Did it take having that safety net for you personally on the other side?
Absolutely. My anesthesia job basically takes care of my personal bills and that side of my life. The business itself runs itself. It's making enough money. I'm not in the hole. It pays its bills every month. It pays payroll every month. We
It's
never,
doing
our
well. Let's not discount. It's doing well.
it is doing well. Yeah, so it's just still now tweaking, like I said, tweaking those aspects of the business to where it's making more profit, which means I'm dumping more money into marketing and advertising and bringing on the right type of people to put it all together and make it more of a cohesive running business so that we're not dropping clients. I have a huge pool of clients and the goal is to not lose them, right? It costs so much more money to get a new client than it does to keep one. So now we're focusing on trying to make sure our current clients know everything about our business and we're helping them with every pain point that they have so that we keep them inside the business and moving around from service to service because it is kind of a one-stop shop. You can come in and get your IV fluids for dehydration or just wellness. You got the infrared sauna, you can do the facials. I mean, it's a great little place. Just come in and see everybody in one day.
I love that. I like to highlight that part because so many business owners would jump into a business and the conversation is constantly invest in your business. But we also have to be real and we have a life to live and to run and personal expenses. And if you're always just investing and you don't have any other form of income, it won't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, the jumps and leaps that I've made in the business wouldn't have happened if I didn't have my successful anesthesia job to keep my personal life going while this business is helping others. So I don't recommend making those sacrifices if that is your job. I mean, if this was my only job, I would have probably, at the time I expanded, it probably wouldn't have been the right time to expand because I couldn't have lost the income. I mean, we had, between, you guys helping me and the business, I built up a pretty good paycheck. I was pretty proud of that. And I could have lived comfortably on that as a regular business owner. And so making that jump, knowing I was going to lose that money, was more comfortable because I did have a backup plan, so I would have had to take my time and do it a different way if that was my only income.
I love your story because it's very calculated. And I'm not saying there's not risks or there's not investments or maybe some even like emotional jumps versus all numbers jumps. But your story is so special because it's calculated, it's thought out, and even those risks, if you don't know the other side of it, you're aware of like, hey, what this will do. And I wish more business owners had that thought outness. That's why I love your story so much.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I don't know what the word calculated is, right? But I get where you're coming from. I do know my numbers thanks to you and your team. They keep me posted. I know I can go into my books and see exactly what's happening and know that I'm being taken care of and know where my money is. And you're right there beside me. So that makes me comfortable when I do make a choice because I know where my money is.
Can we talk about some of the differences of where your business is today versus where you started, like staff wise, you hit on like square footage wise? Can you give some of those like big, really cool growth things?
Sure. So when I started in January 2020, it was just me. Um, and I ran the business for 11 months by myself. I worked here for 3 days a week, and then I did anesthesia 3 days a week. So I was working 6 days a week. We started out with, I always say we because but I at the time started out with 1,200 square feet. And at that time, I was utilizing basically the front desk and 2 rooms, I think. And then the other 3 rooms or 4 rooms, I ended up actually renting out to a neighbor business that was growing their business. And so they rented some space out from me. And so by the time, I guess October came around, my business was growing enough that I was like, you guys got to go. I need my space, which was good because then they were ready to get out. So it worked out perfect. And so then I was able to expand and because things were growing. And so in November of that year, I was able to hire my first employee, which was an amazing young lady who worked my front desk. And I had known her for 10 years and her mother, and she was just a sweet little teenager and she was 16 and she did an amazing job. She was so amazing. And then right after that, I hired my first part-time nurse. So that kind of grew. And then the next year, I hired a couple more part-time nurses. And so I continued my kind of 3 days on, here, 3 days there. And that continued. And then just slowly, I added a couple different services. Body sculpting was one year. And then I added my Emsella chair the next year that helped with urinary incontinence, stress and incontinence, things like that. And then I got an office manager. I hired my office manager part-time 1 day a week, more nurses, a nurse manager, more front desk. So I expanded my hours from 3 days a week. Then I went to 4 days a week. Now I'm open 6 days a week. And then again in January of 23, we got the suite next door to us, which added 1,400 square feet, I think, approximately, something like that. So we more than doubled our space. And so our services were able to spread out. So before we were sharing rooms, this room did 2 things and that room did 2 things. And now every room has its very own purpose, which is amazing. I have a consultation room, I have an office, we have a specific supply room. We were all like myself and the first nurse, and we were all crammed in one little office and it was crazy. But yeah, and so here we are today with a multitude of services. And honestly, I'm not even sure how many staff I have right now. And I just hired a virtual assistant. So to kind of help with both just me personally and my personal stuff. And I hired a care client coordinator. So, okay, payroll's going to go up again. Um, but advertising is going out, so the revenue is hopefully going to pop up and take care of that.
Stacy, do you realize it's been 4 freaking years and you've done all that? That's it.
It's crazy.
It's wild. Like,
I mean, it's still kind of like surreal to me. Like, it's like, this is my business. It's like, I did this. It's like, I still
you.
kind of have to pinch myself. It's crazy. And it's a successful business, you know?
Wow.
I mean, it makes money. It's like, wow. And it
Um,
helps people. I mean, bottom line, that's it. It helps people.
and it's so much more like businesses are so important on so many aspects because you solve your mission and your mission is so important. You're helping people and giving confidence and all those things, but you're also employing a boatload of people, which then take that paycheck and go home and can live
Yeah.
and do it responsibly. Like it's such an amazing thing to grow a thriving business for so many multitudes. One, what it's done for you, but what it's done for your community and for the customers who come in, and then the staff who have a safe place to go and work. It's so powerful.
Yeah, it is amazing. And those employees are kind of, they literally, they keep me going. It's like, okay, I've got to keep this business going. So my employees keep having a job. That's really important to me. And of course, my clients have a place to come to get the care that they need.
Absolutely. What would your advice be to others who want to step into this field or maybe just starting out into this field or want to experience some of the growth that you've experienced? What would be like your high level tips?
Know where your money is at. You know, bottom line, you got to know that you can afford to do the things that you want to do. I'm a little bit of a risk taker, as you know, Cheryl. So sometimes I leap, but deep down inside, I always know that I know where my money is because I've got amazing bookkeepers and just know don't try to force things because other people are doing it. Know your market, know your clientele and what their needs are. Because if you try to force something in an area that isn't going to work, you're just going to lose money. I've really let my business kind of grow organically. And I say things like, you know, the universe is in control. You know, I throw it up into the universe, and if it's meant to be, it comes back and it happens. So, you know, that's, you know, kind of a foo-foo thing. But then, you know, I make sure that it's going to work in my environment and my community. Have people that you can talk to, resources, you know, you don't have to do these things on your own. You know, I'm a bit of a stubborn person and I kind of stay to myself and do my own research and kind of follow my own thing. But I also know that there are people out there can help me and I know who I can reach out to, and help when I need it. And that's so important to build a community around you, because you don't have to look at other businesses like they're competitors. We're all in it together. We're all trying to do the same thing, and we all need to try and get along.
Absolutely. I love that. I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. I think it's beyond inspiring. It's impressive what you have built. It shows your tenacity. I'm really proud.
Thanks, Cheryl, so much. You've been a big help over these years.
Okay. Where can people follow along? Where can people come visit if they want to come in and see your clinic? Give us all the info.
Okay, so the website is rejuvenateolympia.com. Everything that we offer and have is on that website. We are currently in the rebuilding site, but the existing one is still there. I can't wait to see the new one. It's going to be exciting. My email is Stacy, Stacy at rejuvenateolympia.com. You can find us on Instagram at Rejuvenate Olympia. You can find us on Facebook at Rejuvenate Olympia. So pretty much Rejuvenate Olympia is the keywords to find us. We are in Olympia. So Rejuvenate IV Hydration and Wellness Center or Rejuvenate Wellness Centers are what you'll find us at if you Google us. In Olympia, we'd love to talk to you. If you want to come see us or have questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Cool. And we will link everything down below. So thank you so much for taking some time from your day to hang out with me.
Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks for everything you and your team do. Couldn't do it without you.
So kind.